My name is Tarek. I am with General Motors, GM. I'm a lead strategist for control systems, real-time simulation analysis, and my job is to ensure that we are testing and verifying all the controllers that goes into the vehicle before they go to the manufacturing. So we do all the testing in the lab, the preliminary testing in the lab. We create a virtual environment for that, and then we make sure that we have almost like 80% of functionality tested before putting that in the vehicle and start testing that on the road. It is critical to our business and our job. I've been doing this for almost 13 years. And now we have a good team that it's doing that. So this, I think, a lot of people, they talked a little bit about branding yourself. I'm branding myself as a control system specialist, doing creating virtual environments, and doing automated testing, in-lab automated testing. And by doing so, I'm getting into the simulation environment and all the other stuff that are included in building a framework for in-lab testing. This can be used as my elevator speech. I can shorten that a little bit, but I will emphasize on those key words that I just mentioned. Before starting this, I'll tell you my background. I have a PhD in nonlinear stochastic control systems, which means I used to be the guy who looks at a slide, doesn't find a complex equation, starts crying, or just leave the room. Today, I'm standing in front of you talking about resume development and all of this stuff. This stuff, I used to look at it as a waste of time. Today I'm teaching it, and I'm sharing my thoughts. Why? Because from my own experience, I used to be a professor also of electrical engineering. That's how I started my career. During the years, I learned the hard way. Nobody told me about this. Until I discovered in order to be a successful engineer, I have to get out from my own engineering whiz, being labeled as a nerd, to the real world. And how to do this is to brand myself. I look at it the same way. The way I present myself to the profession, it's the same way I present myself to a lady, to date a lady. It's exactly the same way. It's the way you present yourself. So let me share with you some thoughts about how to present yourself, either during the process of resume development or the job interview. These are the topics that we have to cover today. We're 22 minutes behind, but I'll try to be right on time. First thing, focusing all your energy on your resume shifts the responsibility of clearly defining who you are. Again, reading your resume will give me an idea who you are. And one more thing that I'm going to tell you, I am not going to guess. I am not going to read your mind. If I am the one who's hiring, no, that's not my job. In this competitive market, you have to know how to do this. Keeping somebody else to guess what's in your mind, that is the real danger. So from your resume, I will know who you are. And again, a resume is a catalog of accomplishment, if you want to. But it depends on the position that you're applying for. It depends how you want to do this, and we're going to touch a little bit on that. It's either chronological, that means you're going to list all your experience from the most recent and down,
or by function. And these two, each one has its own application if you want to. Chronological, that means you're gonna stick to the same profession almost, and functional, that means you're changing profession. So always focus on, in your resume, when you're writing and you're developing your resume, focus on how you can mention or how can you clearly state, if I will hire you, what you're going to add to me. I don't need what you did before. I want you to leverage that, what you did before, into what can you add to me. That is very, very crucial. I know that you did this, I know that you did that, I know that you have been leading all of these activities or did all of these activities and solved your problem, but you're applying for this position. What can you do for me? And specifically today, it's what can you do for me now? Anyone knows why it's now? What can you do for me? It used to be, what can you do for me? But today, it's what can you do for me now? Why? Before that. Before even that. The word now, that means I'm expecting you to deliver right away. I don't have the patience to train you in 6 months and to wait for you until you get up to speed, and in 2 years I'll get something out of you. That is the most, why is this? Go ahead, sir. Okay. The reason why the statement, the word was added now, because the market is overflooded by technical experts, and in the job market where the economy got into a depression, you have more, it's the opposite way. The market is full of a lot of experts, more than, so I can pick up and choose whatever I want. So you're competing with several other people, and the way that it's going to be the selection process, it is, okay, I'm going to pick up whoever I believe that is going to deliver for me now. So by saying this, I am alluding to some of the stuff that and Ed said it, don't apply for a position if you don't feel that you're ready for it. It's like, do self-assessment. Do I really deserve to get this position? Or if I am hiring, if I am the one hiring, should I hire myself? And be honest with you. Be honest with yourself. Because if the answer is a no, don't apply. What I will do, it doesn't mean that I will, okay, you can see a lot of advertisement, a lot of stuff. You will know what's needed these days, really. What's in, and you're going to say, well, all of these, they don't fit me because I don't have this software or this expertise. I think I better, refresh and think about it again, and maybe I'll take a course or two, or I'll take a certification. I'll invest in myself. The opportunities are coming. But to understand where you are today versus the market is a crucial thing in this business to nail a job. Does it make sense to you, or I'm a little bit off, or you're surprised? Surprised? Hands up. Agree? Hands up. That's good. Next slide. So remember, just-in-time employment. We are in an era where we need, again, you have to hit the market at the right time, and you have to get to that position at the right time. So, meaning that if you're thinking of changing your career, for example, don't start the day where you really are fed up with your position and wants to go. No, start it when a little bit early. Okay, I do have a job, for example. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I'm going to start searching from now. Don't leave it to the last minute, because that will give you a leverage. Only send resume after networking, meaning that you need to send your resume after you already did your homework. Homework meaning you understand the position, what does it involve, and you are qualified for the position. Now you tell me many of these ads, they are really not much not much said in these ads. How can I know? And again, networking is the key. You're not in that company, but you have somebody, you know somebody, and you're gonna call. What is this position is about? And they will explain to you. And that's how you do your homework, and that's how you increase your chances. Now, if you are sitting home watching TV and you're not part of any association, are you going to use this network? Do you have a chance to know? Yes or no? Yes, no? My question to you now, who is part of any kind of professional association, IEEE or whatever else? Hands up. Good news. Who is member of IEEE? Better news. Anybody else, I strongly encourage to join the IEEE, because IEEE is not anymore an organization for electrical engineering. No. It is biomedical, it is neural, it covers a wide range of electromechanical, it covers a large range of engineering. And you can see from all the publications that IEEE is something, a network that where you can find almost everything in it. People hire people they know and like. Is this true? Yep. Well, I got my job through an IEEE meeting. I was a professor at the University of Windsor. I was doing those teaching electromagnetics, teaching Maxwell equations and all of that. Southeast Michigan, we have these meetings, biannual meetings. I was sitting next to a gentleman at dinner. What are you doing? I'm a GM guy. What are you doing? I'm a professor starting my career, and I'm building a lab. He said, which kind of lab? I said, real-time controls for robotics. He said, well, real-time, whoa. He gave me his card, and he said, can you visit me? It's not too far away, about 30 miles. I paid him a visit, showed me what he has in mind. I showed him what exactly I'm doing. I took my publications with me, my records, everything. In a week, I was there. And it was until now. It happens that I did hit the exact word, real-time controls. And he needed, at that time, somebody. That's how they started all the work, real-time, in-lab analysis and simulation of control system. Used to be like put the control in the car and drive and keep driving and keep tuning until it looks good, it feels good. But, the requirement, we read them, okay, it feels good now. But not to the exact requirement. And they wanted to go one step further, is to have confidence on whatever they're putting in the vehicle before they send the driver with it. So resume is a marketing tool, not a history. Well, You should have two kinds of resumes. One, what I call a catalog. A catalog where you have everything in mind. You put everything in details. And you should visit that every 6 months at least, or at least every year. I do it at least in my birthday. I have a commitment. My birthday, I have to update my resume. That's my resolution in my birthday. Update my resume. So you have to keep all of that, because if you don't put it in writing, if I'll ask you, what did you do 5 years ago, and it's not in your catalog, are you going to remember that? Are you going to remember the details? No. Deleting the details is much easier than remembering them, correct? Especially when we start aging. My memory now, it's not the same as 15 years ago. So I have to put everything in writing. So I do have a catalog of all my jobs. Tailor resume to need of to the need of the ad. Here we go. Out of that catalog, you did so many things in your life. You're going to show and concentrate on whatever that job is asking for. And that's how you're going to meet the requirement of the page requirement and all of that, and be concise and hit the point. Here it goes to the, this slide is about starting up, and we do this for students as well as people who are advanced in their career and they have been in the job for a while. But my advice to students, and I'm still a professor, I'm an adjunct professor at the University of Michigan, and I'm still teaching automotive engineering. And my advice to all the students, if we have some here, is, good. Any other students? My advice to all the students, never give up and never think that you're out of the equation. Why? Because I'll tell you up front, in this economy, it is being global. Global means you have to deal with other people from other countries. Means that you have to get out and things are not done the way you want it. There are some other people fighting that you will do the way they want it. And when you are in a leadership position, what can you do? Or what should you do? Any answers? I'll be more specific. I will be, yeah, I said, you're dealing with other countries. You are in a leadership position. Both countries, you never have the same answer. Of course, you will never use the same software. You never use anything similar. The same process. Europe is using their own, and the US is using their own. And the Indian, they're using their own. The Chinese, they're using their own. But you have to commonize.
Somebody can translate between the two things.
I mean, we're way beyond translation now. Things get translated in the web. It gets you, if it's going to China, it will reach in Chinese. If it's coming to the US.
I'm not translating between the problem. What you're saying here, they're doing it this way here, and you're doing it this way here. But if you both of them work together, somebody's got to go between the two and say, okay, this is what has to come. We have to, somewhere in the middle we have to meet to make this happen.
It is you. That's your leadership. And how are you going to do that? Let's say you are the mediator. How are you going to do that? Do you think they will listen to you, the German? Oh, we should do it this way. Or, you bring to the US, you should do it this way.
You want to make money, that's tough.
And that's why I'm saying it's better to pick up somebody fresh out of school, brainstorm them, and keep them going. So we're hiring a lot out of school because we could not solve this problem, get in between. So what we're doing, we're bringing people out of school, train them the way that we want it, in that common way, and keep them going. Maybe you don't have this problem in this area, because you don't do a lot of transatlantic and transoceanic business, but that's what it is today. It is very, very hard to get to a common solution when it comes to multicultural business. Maybe you disagree, maybe you agree. Did I confuse you?
So, if you didn't even solve your own problem, you still kept it to
You know, somebody would refuse to do it. Somebody would refuse to do it. He has been 20 years with the company and would refuse to do it. And he will create every kind of technical excuse not to use the other method because they don't want to change. I've been doing this for 20 years. Why today you're asking me for change? A lot of these global companies, they failed in commonizing. So they need to find other solutions. And the solution is give early retirement package, and it has been done all the time. Give early retirement package and get somebody fresh and let them keep going. This is the common solution and keep going. I'm just warning you what's happening. It doesn't mean that it applies to you today or not. But that's it's a warning if you're gonna work in a global economy. You have to have an open-minded, and you have to, you know, absorb other cultures, and you have to adapt to it. You want me to give you a real example of what happened to me during my last 5 years?
third passport, lived over here. All that.
What's that again?
Been around the world already. I have a degree from the University of Budapest. I know.
Well, I mean, no, I'll tell you what happened to me. I was in a meeting with Korea, with South Korea. And in that meeting, we had some kind of, I was proposing a process, and I asked, is everybody's okay with this? I said, yeah. So I published the meeting minutes saying, this is the process to be implemented, and it's to go. The next morning, my boss comes in, and she was said, how in the world do you do this? I said, what? The Korean never agreed to you. I said, I have witnesses. Said, when the Korean says yes, means I heard you. It doesn't mean I agree with you. So I'm sending you for 2 days cultural lesson. We do have in our company cultural lesson where, you know, we have Korea, we have Japan, we have, so that's what happened to me. This is reality. Now let's go to some of these myths. If a company likes what they see in my resume, they'll call me. Is that true? Well, actually, yes, maybe no. It depends. Remember, who's reading the resume is a human being. Who's reading the resume is a human being. May happen that they like your resume and they may call you. They may also go through some process where, you know, it's not necessary that you're gonna hit the target, and they will never call you, even though your resume is interesting. If it isn't advertised, the job, if it isn't advertised, then it is not available. Yes? No? Yes? Well, it's not necessary because a lot of jobs are not advertised, and they are, you know, hand to hand. They are provided hand to hand. A cover letter. What do you think about cover letter? Is it a waste of time, throw away, or it's something very important? It is very, very important because that's how you brand yourself. From the first paragraph, that's how you brand yourself. And actually, in the first paragraph is what you're going to put, your elevator speech. That's what they have been saying. A resume should explain responsibility at previous job, accomplishments. It is absolutely yes, but you have to know how to do them. The more resume I send out, the better. No, and I mentioned this, that you need to really target the appropriate job that you're looking for and do your homework before sending any resume. Every resume should show a chronological procession of experience. Here it depends. As I said and alluded earlier that, some of the jobs, it's, if you are gonna stay within the same job, then you can put this chronologically. But if you're changing completely from, let's say, I'm going from the automotive business, I'm going to, I have no idea because I'm not intending to go to any other business. For example, maybe aerospace. Yes, I may have to change and may emphasize on my functional expertise, not my, my technical expertise. So your resume is a marketing tool. It is absolutely a marketing tool. It will show your accomplishment as well as who you are, as well as what can you add to if I will hire you. It will answer that question. It should answer that question. And the main purpose of the resume is not to get you hired. The main purpose it is to get you an interview. And what you need to do, you need to hit the right words, the key words that the advertise or the ad is looking for. And again, if you're a control system guy, for example, or you are a control system engineer, you can present yourself as a test engineer, you can present yourself as a development engineer, you can present yourself as a simulation and modeling engineer, because all your background allows you to do what? To claim those. You're not lying. With some of your experience, you have that. So it depends on the job advertisement. It depends the way that you want to present yourself. Now, some of the questionable items to include. Personal data. Do you want to include your personal data? Do you think it's a good idea? I'm married with 2 kids. Huh? It used to be sometime, a lot of people, they used to think about the married person as a wise, and has somebody who can handle a family as like, it's a good plus. It is still a plus, of course, having a family and being responsible for a family is a plus. But in this economy, in this like moving and dynamic economy, I don't think any personal data is relevant anymore. Reference available on request. I don't, either I will put the reference or not. That's the whole point. And willing to relocate. I think somebody else, Hunk and Ed, talked a little bit about it. What do you think about relocation if I'll put willing to relocate? I will not put it. Personally, I will not put it. Because if I am applying for that job and I know it is in Michigan, okay, and I see your address in Florida, Cocoa, Florida, that means you're willing to relocate, right? I'm not going to send the company here for you. Recruiters must know your career focus within seconds. Again, elevator speech. That elevator speech needs to be up in that first paragraph. And most recruiters consider career objective statement worthless if they do not contain information about your target. This is absolutely true. Make it easy also. By the way, when I introduced myself, did I use any abbreviation? Anybody remembers? Did I use any abbreviations? You know why? Huh? I owe you. I owe you. Okay, DOD for you, what does it mean? DOD, what does it mean for you? For us, it means deactivation on demand. Is the new technology for deactivation the cylinders. If you have an 8-cylinder car, you know, when you're cruising, you don't need those 8. So you deactivate 4 and your 8-cylinder car becomes a 8-cylinder car becomes a 4-cylinder car for better fuel economy. For you, DOD is Department of Defense. For us, is deactivation on demand. That's just an example. Resume should match to what the employer is asking for. I mean, I'm not saying that you just need to exact match your word by word, but you need to hit the key words. If I am looking for a test engineer, you have to show something that you did in testing. If I am looking for modeling and simulation, you have to show me that you did some modeling and simulation. Forget about what you did. You have to rewrite what you did in the way the job is advertised. And do not lie. I'm not asking you to lie about or just inflate your resume. No. Just rewrite it the way it is. Explain it to me. You did some control system. It was in the aerospace for a 777. Okay, it's the same as doing control system for a car. It's the same, it's the same theory, the same background, the same thing. But make it look like I did, in my own language. So match what you do to the behaviors and assumption of the people to whom you're giving that resume. I have to stress that, again, here, what you need to stress, in addition to your technical expertise, you have to stress that you are a leader, that you can work with different people with different backgrounds, cross-functional, and you have to stress on long-term relationships, and you are able to work in a dynamic environment, again, in a global dynamic environment. I repeat and repeat and over. Maybe you disagree with me. The global environment today is imposed on us. You have to have an open-minded. You do not believe what you're doing today is the best. No. Do your research. Try to understand. Try to learn other tools. Do not stick to the same routine. If there is another software that it is competitive to what you're doing, go and try it. Read about it. It's like us. I'm not sure whose control system here. Anybody control system? We have MATLAB Simulink. We're using MATLAB Simulink across the board. Okay? Some people they are using LabVIEW. Okay? Now if I'll tell you that I need somebody in MATLAB Simulink, you tell me no, LabVIEW is better, I'll tell you goodbye. Yeah, I'm using MATLAB Simulink. You have to adapt yourself. Your answer will be yes, I have expertise in LabVIEW, but LabVIEW is very similar, and my expertise in LabVIEW will allow me to catch up with the new software quicker. Not to convince me. If you want to convince me after you get the job. Convince me later on. Base resume on value proposition and career objective. It's very important that you stress on your accomplishment. And again, why should I keep that in mind? If you cannot answer this question, why should I hire you rather than somebody else? You're going to fail. No matter what you do. And we have one of our committee members, he's he has his own consulting business. He emphasized on this question over and over and over, and I just inherited that from him. And I found it that it's very important and crucial. Why should I hire you? If I would ask somebody, can somebody give me an answer? Can I get an answer? One of the hands up. Somebody looking for a job? Why should I hire? Well, which kind of job is that you're looking for? So, electronic engineering project management. Let's say I have what can you add to me? Yeah, just think about fictitious job ad, and I'm asking you, what can you add right now to anyone? Just give me one example. So you have you're stressing on your PM, project management expertise. Correct, that's a decent answer, yes.
Okay, let me try. My field is statistical learning, so I can enhance your data analysis results, give you real-time feedback to simulation to adapt the simulation faster than automatic adaptation based on feedback from the certain results.
Keep in mind, that's a good answer, but keep in mind to talk about a little bit what's existing.
Existing simulation field.
Yeah, yes. In your field right here, you say, I know some of the existing software, they do this, but they are limited and I can do enhance more. That's what I mean. You have to stress on the value added. So here we talked a little bit about tailoring your resume for each employer, and technology illiterate recruiters may be screening you. Without offense, it could be a computer itself, and the computer is a technology illiterate, that it is screening all the resumes.
When you're tailoring the resume, doctor, and you have gaps in time, could that be detrimental?
I will put my resume and I will just keep it as is. If there is a gap, if you did something, normally you don't leave yourself to that gap. If you feel that you're going into a gap, you take a course. You take, you enroll into a certificate program or something.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, just for instance, I did 8 years in the Air Force doing electronics. Then I did 3 years doing biomedical research. Then I did 12 years of HVAC, which has nothing to do with.
That's better. It shows me that you are multitasking and you can adapt quickly to what I have in mind. That's a plus, I see it. I don't see it as a minus.
So that question I don't know skill right now is in the at least big is say a lot of resume actually is harvest or screen robotically or that way. So your resume you need to put a lot of keywords since the robotic hit the keyword thing. Your resume feels through the screen through the human instead of like rejecting the
I agree with you. There is no only one way of screening resumes, but
I mean, does this apply now? Or?
I don't know. It doesn't apply in my case, and I cannot be like some of them that yes, some of them no. When I put an ad for a job, I just screen all the resumes myself. Yes.
I'm saying that they look for past 10 years of experience, not your past 20 years of experience.
I look, it depends again. But 10 years of experience, the last 10 years of experience, I would say they are crucial. Yes. And please, you have to get away also from the buzzwords like enhance, increase. Be more specific. Have some metrics. Have some metrics, because everybody can enhance. I'm a licensed professional, I'm a PM licensed from the PMI Institute. I have my PMP license, and one thing that I learned out of that PMP is to quantify. That means never use, I have even deleted them from my dictionary. Better, faster, all of those, no. You have to quantify, and that is some of the weak points of engineering. There are two things the engineers, we, including myself, we fail in them. It's what? Time and money. Those are the two enemies for all the engineers. If I will ask you how long it's going to take you to finish this task, are you going to give me a right answer? Anybody hit the target? Hands up. Anybody missed the target? Hands up. How about the rest? Huh?
All the rest are under the target.
Under target? That's great.
We had a contingency.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. That's the two enemies. And of course, if I'll tell you how much it's going to cost, that's another problem too. Yes.
I have a question from Western North Carolina. Take this the right way. The question is, how many engineers have you interviewed and hired? Do you think your hiring practice is a typical one in a broader range of industry?
Yes. And we have been using this in almost it is a rule by the corporation, by the way, it's not my own rule. That's one. And the second thing is, in the last year, I did interview about 20. And 6 of them got hired. It's a corporate rule. First of all, you need to go through under that stress test. I don't know, it's like 4 hours stress test where they ask you all those questions about all those, if you are in this situation, what you're going to do. If you are in that situation, what they're going to do. And then we come, after those 4 hours, it comes to the technical, to the technical session. So, recasting your accomplishment is something very important. As I said, we're 22 minutes behind time, so I'm just going to let you, I already touched base, and I'm going to talk a little bit about, yes.
How many people you hired out of 20? How many of them were new grads?
New grads, we had, I think two and 4. Yeah. As I said, I mean, new grads, they have a big chance. We have an internship program, and a lot of those, they got hired in right away. The internship program is very important. So some of the students, they show their, contribution, and they respond well to the program, and we have like 2.5 years, like every 6 months you go through, or every 3 or 4 months you go every summer. We have internship program, and we have seen a lot of students coming back. So, we talked a little bit about accomplishment and all of that, but I'm going to touch base here about the 2 kinds of resumes. The chronological resume, where you have the objective and qualification or career summary, and then education and work experience. So that's how you stress. You stress on your qualification and chronological way of putting your expertise and your description of job. Work experience, this is the main part of the chronological resume. List each item in reverse, so from the most recent one Different jobs at this different company counts as separate items. Remember, for example, you're working on two different platforms. You did this integration on platform A and you did the same integration on platform B. Those are two different projects. Because platform A and platform B, those are two, for example, hardware platforms. And that shows that you can adapt to the change. This one is just an example of a chronological resume. Functional resume, useful when changing career, and the emphasis shifts to skills and away from any job specifics. For example, it shifts on your expertise in project management. It shifts on your your leadership. All those skills, those are the most important when you're moving from one to the other. It's like, I'm not gonna name, but somebody CEO of Office Depot want to become a CEO of a car company. So from Office Depot to car company, it's like a huge difference. So he focused on his expertise. What can he bring to enhance and fix things in that company? The same way for you. You can start from like a very simple example. Somebody from the industry is going back to the education, teaching. So you're changing completely your career. Or vice versa. I mean, you are at the, you're in the education side and you're moving to the industry. So the emphasis becomes like, oh, I did this with the NSF, I did this project, I did this proposal, I worked on this project for this company, and et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to stress on you're not going to stress on the courses that you taught. You're not going to stress on the student evaluation. But you're going to stress on what you did to the industry. Cover letters, critically important, no more than 1 page, and get to the bottom line. References, make sure the bottom line when you put somebody as a reference, they will not shoot you. Make sure when you put somebody in the reference, they know that you give them what I do. Best practice is to give them your resume, what you submitted. So they can read it ahead of time and they can, refresh their memory. There is nothing worse than somebody gets a call from somebody and asks me, I'm calling you regarding Mr. Jones. Who? Just that word, who? You're gone. Last comment, folks, rather than shotgun and network first before sending your resume, do your homework, not only network, learn about the position, and stay in control of your job search. That means brand yourself, market yourself, and make sure that when you apply, you have a good chance to nail that position. And there is a lot of homework to do, as I explained earlier. These are some resources, and now I'm gonna, can you come, and I'm gonna share with you my resume. The PDF, yeah. So this is my education. I have stressing on my PMP. I am also a PE. I have a PhD. How do you move this? It's not moving. Or should I? Oh, okay. All right. This is my industrial experience. You see the keywords: automation, simulation, and real-time controls system development. Those are my keywords. They are standard, industry standard. I do have my objective and goals. Support road to lab to math. That's something that means bring the test in the lab. And, you know, even though if you can move it to the math, that means pure simulation if you can. Simulation, modeling, and hardware in the loop development. And I'm listing everything. Development of vehicle component plant models. That's my expertise. I'm a control system guy. Plant models. Integration. That's something key here. Instrumentation. And then post-processing and analysis. Now, look at what's different here. Development and integration of real-time serial data communication. Now, I'm switching to communication. Serial data within the car. So those are, you know, standard in the industry. If I am in the any kind of, not only automotive industry, in control system industry, those are very well known, and I touched base with them. And that's what I did. You know, and again, simulation for emulation of serial data, support of hardware, supported, I have the protocol also for the communications. You see, collaborate with cross-functional areas. It's something very essential because I'm dealing with powertrain, which is the engine side. I'm dealing with other departments, and I have to collaborate with them in order to exchange data and exchange simulation with them. So leading advanced technological work for developing processes, that's something essential. And I'm going to touch base with it on the next presentation in the job interview. Processes, that's another enemy for engineers. Documentation and processes. Test automation development. Now I'm touching in the automation side. And you can co-simulation environment. Post-processing. Etc. Research experience. I'm putting all my research experience too. This is the catalog that I'm talking about. And you know, and the difference between the catalog and here, I'll delete some of those additional information, but I'll keep those keywords because that's me.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that you had in here that a resume should not exceed 2 pages. It used to be 1. Has that changed?
It depends. It really depends. I mean, there is, if you're going to put to be honest with you, if you're going to put 1 page and you know, somebody cannot read it, do you think you have a chance? Yes.
Also, I had noticed you put the education first. I had heard that was more applicable to new grads because that was they weren't or they didn't have as much experience, whereas once you're trying to transition from one job to another after having some years of experience, you should start on your education afterwards.
The reason why I'm putting my education first, it shows you that I am still I'm still a student. I'm still catching up. The continuous education. 2009, I graduated in 1990 and 1994. But I'm still, 2009, I'm getting a license. That means I'm stressing on continuous education here. It shows that I'm not dormant. I'm investing in my career. And finally, you will see, I mean, I have everything in here, research experience, teaching experience, software, journal publications, conference publications, technical seminars and training, professional development workshops, and you can see that I'm listing the resume development and job interview. It shows that I can talk in different topics other than equations, and my IEEE activities and my awards. So, any questions? This is like to give you an idea about how I'm keeping up with the, how I'm refreshing my resume. Yes, sir.
During the time in your career that maybe better to have a functional resume than a chronological, like you've had multiple jobs or work for like 7 different people and I do chronologically, it starts to get pretty messy.
You are right. I mean, I'll talk about myself. I mean, it's time for me to start doing a functional resume rather than chronological. I've been maybe, what, 16, 17 years of experience now between different jobs, and it's time for me to put that because I think I have accomplished more than just leading a project or delivering a final product.
When you're reading the resume, you don't
Correct, yes,
take away from somebody if it's functional or
correct, yes. Yes, sir.
Another question from Western North Carolina. They said, there's a lot of technical details in your sample resume. Is this recommended?
As I said, this is a catalog, it's not a resume. This is a catalog, and if I have a job, if I'm going to apply for a job, I'm going to pick and choose, but definitely I'll keep the keywords. I'll keep the keywords, like the keywords that I stressed. Simulation, you can see them, way on top. You can see them. Simulation modeling and hardware in the loop. I'm going to keep that. Maybe I'll add one liner after that. I'm going to add test automation development. That's a key. I'm going to add CAE. Those, even though the way I wrote my resume and highlighted and underlined it, that's the highlighted and underlined, those that will definitely go in my resume. As I said, it's much easier to delete rather than remember. Any other questions? Any feedback? All right, we'll go to a break. I think we're going to get a shorter break here to keep on time, but we apologize for that.